Hello there and welcome to today's video. So today we're going to look at Tarzan, Lord of the Jungle, as published in the UK by Foursquare Paperbacks, one of my favourite vintage paperback publishers. Now, Foursquare pretty much did the full run of Tarzan books, and they've got these really distinctive, gorgeous covers, and that's what we're going to have a look at today. So sit back, relax, don't forget to like and subscribe this video for more vintage content, and let's get to it. So this is the first book in the Tarzan series by Edgar Rice Burroughs, published by Foursquare Books in the UK. Now, Foursquare were one of those publishers that started publishing books in this format in about 1957, 1958, and were one of a huge a batch of publishers who just came onto the market. So by that time, you already had several of the mushroom publishers, but you had more established brands such as Penguin and Pan. And Foursquare were about to leave their mark. Now, they copied those other publishers by, this is pre-ISBNs, of course, so they numbered the books on the spine, and this is number 87. And this was their very first foray into republishing in order all the Edgar Rice Burroughs Tarzan books. Now, this one came out as a Foursquare in 1959, and gives the British publishing history there as well prior to this. And I have always loved these editions simply because the jackets are so good. I mean, I collect vintage paperbacks anyway. I don't collect all Foursquare books, but I've got maybe a few hundred in my collection. And although I haven't quite got every single Tarzan book, I've almost got them all. So that's what we'll be going through today. And just to look at those fantastic bits of artwork on the jackets, they are brilliant. So that's the very first one. And then closely followed, literally, number 93, so 5 books later, with The Return of Tarzan. Now, the only thing I've noticed with this particular one is that it may just be this copy, but it's like it's almost not quite in focus, if you know what I mean. The actual picture maybe is slightly off-printed, but anyway, I'm not complaining. It's the same on the back cover as well. And I like the way they've added their own little lines. So, The Return of Tarzan, the jungle man finds a bride. So that's the second one in the series. Then we jump a little bit. So up to 152 in the Foursquare series. And we've got Tarzan the Magnificent. And Tarzan's most fantastic adventure in the land of the warrior women. And this one actually is the first one I've picked up, which has got a cover artist's name, which is Mortlemans, and he was prolific in Britain around this period. Certainly did some stuff for Pan Books as well. And just so we're aware when this was published, this is still 1959, so it's still quite an early one. And I'm just going to put these around because when you start going through these, they do make a fantastic spine art in their own right. Number 168. This is Tarzan at the Earth's core, the Lord of the Jungle in a lost world of prehistoric creatures. Mortlemans cover again. I wonder if he did do them all. Now this is slightly different. So rather than the full artwork being on the back, they've used like a selection. In fact, they've used a new piece of artwork, like a little vignette, which I've seen a few publishers do up until, well, a lot of children's books did it, in fact, up until the early 70s. So, and this one's slightly later style, but still 1959. So, obviously Foursquare were publishing several books at a time. Of course, they weren't, these were only reprints, so they didn't have to wait for them to be written or anything. They could literally publish them as quickly as they thought the market could stand for them. So, number 183. Which is the Son of Tarzan. Korak, son of Tarzan, grows to manhood in the merciless jungle. That one just a completely plain back, so it's a shame we didn't get the vignette there. When was this one published? 1959 again. That's the Son of Tarzan. Tarzan and the Jules of Opars. This is number 184. So that was 183. This is 184. Fantastic Mortlemans cover there. (185). So this numbering is all consecutive at the moment. We've had 183, 184, and now number 185. Tarzan the Untamed. The ape man takes revenge for his murdered mate. I wonder if we're still in 1959. Yeah, published as a Foursquare in 1959. So they were really pumping these out as the backbone to the new imprint for Foursquare. When you think there's so many by one author, probably more than any other author around at that time. And once again, consecutive numbering, number 186, Tarzan and the Ant-Men. Tarzan in the strange world of Stone Age savages and knee-high warriors. Great stuff. Yeah. These really were fantastic, and these are certainly the editions I read growing up. I'm sure they weren't all in first edition, but I can certainly remember these really distinctive covers. Now we're taking a bit of a jump now to 240, which is the Beasts of Tarzan, and you see that original early style has changed. The logo along the front in the banding has gone, and it's now, the title is integrated into the actual cover painting, the Beasts of Tarzan, with the logo there. Still the same artist, Mortlemans. No vignette on the back. And this, 1960. So what a change in just a year. And that's number 240. Not my best copy of that, but these have proved to be have become quite expensive books to buy these days. It's probably why I've not got around to filling in the gaps, because I've not seen them cheap. All of these ones I picked up over the years, you know, at the usual sources, jumble sales and boot sales and things like that. Always have my eye on the lookout for early Foursquare. This is number 284. So this is a jump on again. Fantastic cover, that Tarzan's Jungle Tales, Tarzan the Magnificent's Greatest Adventures. (1961). So we've jumped forward another year. Then we've got 339. So quite a big jump now to Tarzan Triumphs. So the Foursquare logo has changed now. Still Mortlemans as the cover artist. That fantastic style that he's got. Slightly different on the back, and they're saying that this is the 15th adventure, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I'm obviously missing 4 up to this point. This is quite a tatty old copy, this one, but sometimes it's not all about that. It's just having 1961. It's just having a copy to read, which I love as well. So I'm going to just pop these to one side. And we're about halfway, so I'll have a look through the next one, which is Tarzan and the Lizard Men. This is number 380 in the Foursquare series. The logo has changed yet again. Yeah, but still 1961. And we've got number 933. Tarzan, Lord of the Jungle. And this is 1963 again. Can't see any sign of the cover artist on that one. So maybe it's not a Mortlemans. Maybe they just got a Foursquare house artist to fill that in. 971, Tarzan and the Lost Empire. Absolutely fantastic one. That is signed Mortlemans again, but he's not getting the full jacket now. He's just getting a small half a jacket, really. Not so good, not so impactful in my eyes. That's quite nice. So the sort of jungle bit with the blurb on the back there, I quite like that. And that is 1964. So we're working our way through the decade of the 60s. A favourite of mine, number 996, Tarzan and the Foreign Legion. I absolutely love this particular Tarzan novel. Same thing on the back there. 1964 for that one. Number 996. 1181. So Tarzan and the Forbidden City. Sea monsters challenge the Lord of the Jungle. Brilliant stuff. Oh, that's quite nice. I quite like the little silhouette there of Tarzan swinging through the vines. Now this is on the cusp here. So Foursquare eventually become the New English Library, not the New American Library, the New English Library. And this is sort of a hybrid book where one is about to become the other. And this is first Foursquare edition, 1965. Foursquare, 1422. So a bit more of a jump again. Definitely doesn't look like a Mortlemans cover, this one, because it's just not as good. Tarzan and the Madman. Now this is interesting. A thrilling new adventure never published before in Britain. So maybe this is the first time that Tarzan and the Madman had ever come out over here. Because it says, yeah, first Foursquare edition was in January 1966. The actual original American copyright was 1964. So maybe that's a British paperback original, a PBO. That one. Just a few more to go through. This is the last Tarzan one I've got, which is Tarzan and the Castaways. And this is Foursquare 1552. Now, this is interesting, that sort of the new logo there. This design is in keeping with all the Foursquare around the period. Completely blank back, but published by New English Library now. And this particular one, this final one that I've got for Tarzan, was June 1966. Now, apart from those Tarzans, I do have just a couple more Edgar Rice Burroughs that I thought I might as well show you since they're here. So this is 1726, and it's Carson of Venus. This is Burroughs' exploration of science fiction and the emerging genre that it was at the time. And this is 1967, January 67. And the very last one we've got is another one, which is Lan of Gathol, which is another John Carter novel. First time in paperback, number 1746. I'm imagining once again that this is perhaps a British paperback original. And this was a Foursquare edition in February 1967. So there we are. I think you'll agree they make a absolutely fantastic run of books and highly worth tracking down. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed looking through those gorgeous Foursquare Tarzans as much as I did. There's certainly some fantastic vintage paperbacks there, and maybe I've spurred you on to put a run together of these yourself. They're certainly not that hard to find. However, trying to find them at good prices is proving quite difficult. A cursory look on eBay and I thought, oh, blimmin' heck, those are a bit pricey. However, you might get lucky. You might come across a run, such as I did a couple of times, where I found quite a lot of these in one hit. And I was able to get a lot of the run in one foul swoop, which is pretty good. Anyway, there we are for today. Now, don't forget, if you haven't already, do hit the subscribe button. I am racing towards 1,000, and I'd like to get there, before the end of the year if possible. Leave a comment below. What was your favourite Tarzan book? Is there any that absolutely, as a beginner, you should definitely read? So leave those comments below, and thanks for watching. I will see you soon with more vintage paperbacks. So till then, bye.